I like buying old tools. You can get a piece of history, and if you're willing to put a bit of elbow grease in, you can also get a bargain. Today I've got this old Record No.0220 Block plane that's destined for the restoration station. These Record No.0220s were made in Sheffield, England between 1931 and 1994, so this could be almost 100 years old. This one's in quite bad condition, with lots of rust on the lever cap and flaking paint on the body, so I'm going to strip the old paint off and give it a fresh coat. To start with, we need to get this disassembled so we can strip the parts down easier. Here I'm removing all the different parts, starting with the front knob. One thing you need to watch out for is you need to rotate the depth adjustment screw clockwise to remove it from the body. With everything disassembled, you can see it needs a good clean up. Since I'm going to be repainting these anyway, I'm using a wire wheel in the drill to remove as much loose paint as possible. If I was going to keep the original paint, a better idea might have been using a rust removal solution. I'm wearing a mask and goggles for this, since I don't fancy breathing any rust or paint dust in. It was quite tricky to get into the intricate areas of the body and other parts, so I had to use one of the smaller detailed wire wheels and a manual brush to get into those smaller parts. I wasn't too worried about any paint that wouldn't come off, as you won't notice it under 2 fresh coats anyway, and if it survives the wire wheel, it must be pretty stable. I worked my way through each of the metal components, giving them all the same wire wheel treatment. With all the paint stripped off, it was time to give everything a fresh coat. Here I'm using Hammerite dark blue metal paint. I found this matches the dark blue of the Record planes quite well. I couldn't find the regular smooth finish Hammerite in this colour, so I've ended up with the satin instead, but I found it actually matches the original finish quite well. When you're using oil paint like this, give the bristles of the brush a quick tug to make sure they're not going to come out while you're painting. These are just cheap brushes from Amazon, and as soon as I started painting, some of the bristles started to come out. So either get slightly better quality brushes, or crimp the end of the brush with a pair of pliers to stop the bristles coming out, so they don't get stuck in your paintwork. When painting, I was careful not to get any paint in the screw holes, or on any of the machined surfaces. You could try taping these off if you want to be more careful, or like I did, use a bit of abrasive to remove any unwanted paint afterwards. While the paint was drying, it was time to restore the knob and sharpen up the cutting iron. To get the old shellac off the handle, I used a sturdy knife. A card scraper or razor blade will also do the trick. With most of the chunky stuff off, I gave it a sand down to smooth it over. For the new finish I gave it 2 coats of boiled linseed oil with a final coat of beeswax, which you'll see at the end. To sharpen the cutting iron I started by flattening the back of the blade, then freehand sharpened it on a diamond stone, starting with 400 grit, moving on to 1000 grit and finishing with a leather strop. If you don't feel confident sharpening freehand, you can also use a honing guide like this old Eclipse one here. After going through the different grits, this blade was razor sharp and ready to use. I gave everything a second coat of paint and left it to dry. With everything painted up, it was time to lap the sides and sole of the plain body. I gave the sides a quick going over with an abrasive maroon pad, as it doesn't matter too much if these are perfectly flat or not. If you try to sand the sides freehand, try sanding with the length of the plane, as it will give a more consistent finish. Once the sides were nicely cleaned up, I lapped the bottom on some 240 grit sandpaper on a relatively flat surface, which for me was an old kitchen countertop. After sanding for a few moments, applying even pressure across the body, the bottom was looking fairly flat. To check, I used a Sharpie to mark the front, middle and rear of the plane, to see where it was being sanded down the most. And after a bit more sanding, it was looking pretty even. With all the paint nice and dry, I gave everything a nice protective coating of beeswax. Here I'm using a homemade mix of coconut oil and beeswax, but you could also try using a regular beeswax paste wax. I applied it with a cloth, let it sit overnight to dry in my case, then buffed it off once the beeswax had dried. This gives a nice shine and protects all the metal parts from going rusty in damp conditions. The last thing to do is get everything reassembled. Remember, the depth adjustment screw is threaded in the opposite direction, and thread it into the body first before threading on the floating piece. With everything back together, let's see how it performs. It's cutting very nicely now, and leaves a lovely smooth glass-like finish on this pine offcut. One last thing, these old block planes don't have a lateral adjuster, so you have to just give the blade a tap with a nylon or wooden mallet to adjust the angle. So there you have it, freshly restored block plane, ready for another 100 years of hard labour. Here's a quick before and after. If you made it this far and want to see more tool restoration and woodworking videos, subscribe to the channel, like this video and let me know how you thought the restoration went in the comment section below.